Good morning. Welcome to our second Rare Birds Foundation Research Symposium. This year, we're rediscovering ADSLD. So we have a lot of new information, new papers that all just came out right in the last month, really. So this is very exciting. It's a very exciting time and lots of new things to learn for us. Here's our agenda for the day. So, first, I'll be giving a quick year in review, kind of an impact report. Then I'll be having a conversation with Natalie Watson, author of Bigger Than My Body. And then we will just roll from there. Each presentation will be 20 minutes with a 10-minute Q&A, and we'll have two times to sort of break out, get a stretch break, and then discuss whatever we would like in that time as well. A few housekeeping things. The meeting is being recorded today. The ideas that are shared here during our time together do not constitute medical advice, so please consult with your doctor. In order to translate your captions, you can go down into the Zoom meeting. There's a button that says More, and you'll press that button. There will be an option to select closed captions, and then you'll be able to choose the language that you're speaking, so it will translate for you. Oh, and one more thing. Drop your questions in the chat during presentations so that we are not asking questions during people's presentations, and so you don't forget them, of course. All right, I believe we are going to get started now. So, Rare Birds Foundation was founded in 2023. So we're coming to the end of our second year as an organization. We are now a registered 501c3 nonprofit. We just got our distinction on Friday. So a lot of big changes coming for Rare Birds. Our mission is to support families living with ADSLD and related purine disorders. So if you know someone with a related purine disorder and they are looking for a patient advocacy home, Rare Birds is here for them. We realize that with such a small niche, and so many little small diseases that it probably made more sense to sort of build a coalition rather than only supporting ADSL families. And so that has always been sort of our mission. Here's our case count for this year. So we have hit a 200 case milestone. These are both living and deceased cases. So currently we have 163. I always want to say children, but as we're learning, these are not just children. Sometimes they are grown adults, right, Lena? So we have 163 living cases, and I did do a count of our gender breakdown. So interestingly, we have 75 boys, 74 girls, and 49 unknown. The reason we have unknowns is the way that I came to this count was by cross-referencing Marie Zikanova's database. She has a database with children in literature. So I cross-referenced that with literature that was not at the time included in her database, and then also used the Facebook group to try and identify who was who and make sure that it's the cleanest case count we could come up with. Here's our board of directors. So you have me as the president. My husband, Justin Lytle, is our vice president. Stacy Lawrence is our treasurer. Katie Flug, secretary, and Lauren Pichart is one of our directors. 4 out of 5 of our board members are Rare Birds parents. Let's get into our impact. So with research this year, we were able to work with Dr. Zikanova on that database that I was mentioning. So she's got a really great list of de-identified cases with the genetic variant responsible. And so, what we were able to do is work within the Facebook group and drive people to participate and provide their genotype to Dr. Zikanova this year. We also participated in blood biomarker investigation with Dr. Sarah Elsey at Baylor College of Medicine. Now, we know this is really important because early detection is key in these metabolic disorders. So, we are hoping that Dr. Elsey will turn up that ADSL can be detected in blood and that we can be included in a forthcoming universal newborn screen. And we drove enrollment in the NIH Natural History Study. So, of course, that is with the NIH, Institutes of Health here in America. Of course, Dr. Oleg was not able to be here today. Our federal government is in a shutdown, and while Dr. Oleg thankfully is able to continue his work, I have learned that his work can continue because he is a clinical care provider at the NIH, and they cannot stop clinical care, or at least they haven't so far. So he is able to see patients in clinic and continue his work, but he's not able to attend conferences. So our idea, and I'm going to plan this more with Dr. Oleg, is for a follow-up meeting where he can share. He has some really important unifying ideas to share for our community. So we have 13 patients in the NIH Natural History Study now. Our goal is 30. And from Dr. Oleg, he said I could share this for a relatively rare condition. This is a very robust enrollment, far exceeding what I thought was possible a year ago, a testimony to the strength of the ADSL community. So I want to say thank you if you are a family that is signed up for the NIH study. It really makes a big impact. We've already seen that he's learned so much more about how to help our families through seeing patients. So thank you. Another way we were able to provide impact and help families this year, and I am very proud of this, we developed a clinical care guide. So last year during the symposium, I was talking about our translational fact sheets. The translational fact sheets became our clinical care guide. So it's a document that's designed to be used in tandem between families and clinicians. You use it together either during your meetings or in your MyChart. We compiled this using observations from ADSL families in our Facebook group. We also use RareX data as well. So we can go through this a bit now. Let me start here. We have a welcome letter, talks about our mission, how doctors can help us, and invites them to join our interest list for our clinician consortium, which we will talk a little bit more about later. So as I said, we use RareX data to form this document. So this is from the data we collected in 2024. And let's see if I can actually, nope. Oh, here it is. I can make this full screen for all of us so we can see it more clearly. So there is an area for notes. This is the head to toe survey. So the head to toe survey is a very general overview that any patient in RareX receives when they register. And from here, we're able to break down these individual categories into these symptom details. So from here, families would be able to really dig into what they see in their child's life, and a doctor would be able to ask really clear questions and really work with the power of 11 years of history in our Facebook group to get the best clinical care possible. We've also linked our research partnerships and initiatives so that people with their doctors are able to discuss whether or not they want to participate in medical research. Like Dr. Oleg here, he gets his own QR code so the family can just use their phone to go directly to that clinical trial. And then any documentation that they've provided to support that is also here. So this is Dr. Elsie's study. There's also a little bit of guidance around variants of uncertain or unknown significance. So some families get a diagnosis that says you have a change on the ADSL gene. We don't know if it's causing the issues that you're seeing. And so being able to go in and give a little bit of information for families about how they can be certain what their child has, next steps if you get a variant of unknown significance diagnosis, um, and uh, and if you got diagnosed with GeneDx, a little bit of information about how to specifically use their platform to get reanalysis done. My favorite impact this year is let's explain ADSL deficiency to a kid. So, in a poll from 2024, we learned that of high importance and a large concern for families is the impact on unaffected siblings, the ADSL experience. So, we created this as a resource for children to understand ADSL in a very broad sense. But we found that parents really found it useful as well, understanding this very complex disorder. So we compare ADSL deficiency and the ADSL enzyme specifically like a chef in a kitchen who has a broken arm. Unfortunately, this broken arm makes Al work very slowly and unchopped food starts to pile up, which causes all sorts of issues for the customers, which are a person's brain and muscles. So it just helps children learn about, what their friend, family member, or loved one might be experiencing. And we want to be honest with children as well. No, we don't know how to fix Al's arm yet, but this is where all of you come in, our scientific partners and research partners. There are scientists and doctors that are trying to help. So it's okay to feel sad and worried, but it's also okay to have hope and that we love our rare birds just the way they are. Coming in 2026, we are going to be, as I mentioned before, this clinician consortium is really coming together in tandem with the Patient Advisory Council. So we have begun assembling an advisory council, not only to guide our work as a foundation, but to work together with this clinician consortium to drive better clinical care and help our rare birds the best way we can. We're also working towards a dedicated online Rare Birds Foundation platform. So we are currently using primarily social media to connect and communicate. We want to have a little bit more control over that. Not only control, but really we want to prioritize safe data collection and know that anything a family shares within the group can stay within the group. We will also be developing bespoke ADSL surveys that will be hosted on this platform. The other thing that we hope to do with this shift is to drive for participation from patients abroad. So one of the issues that we have is not only do not many people use Facebook anymore, or perhaps I should say less people use Facebook now than they did 3 to 5 years ago. So those patient and families that have fallen away because they are not on Facebook will have a hub to come to. But also patients from abroad often don't have access to Facebook. So, for example, I was able to connect with our first patients from Saudi Arabia where they don't have Facebook this year through our website. The last thing we'll be working on is adding a development committee. So with our 501c3 distinction, we are now able to raise big money. What I want to say is everything you've seen in this impact report has been accomplished without many funds. And I am proud of that. I also think it sets us up with such a wonderful foundation to really leap forward and provide caregiver respite retreat grants. We know that our families are tired, they don't often get breaks. So being able to give a space where families can go back, return to themselves is really important. We'll also be funding research grants, as well as direct family and patient support. I mentioned last year our goal is to have a bereavement fund, which we do have. And so thankfully, we have not had to use that this year. But we also want to do joyful things for families. So, providing special things they may want or need, and being able, especially as the role of our government here in the United States changes in patient care and social safety nets, we want to make sure that we're stepping in the event that we need to.